Hello, my name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Joe's Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where I'm playing Planetbase, the outer space building and economy game, and I'm going for an achievement: 250 colonists in less than 60 days. So let's see if we can give it a try. We need to attract 250 sucker valued colonists to our planet here, and let's see where we've landed. I've just gone ahead and left it on random to make it more interesting, so we'll see if we land at a really good spot or a really bad one. Okay, let's see. Actually, this is not so bad. Look how open this is. Excellent, excellent. So the colony will go this direction. We can have some of our supplies and systems out this way. Alright, let's get started. First things first, we'll recycle the colony ship. Second of all, we'll start off with power. So our initial power system will be a solar panel. And like I said, the colony will expand out this way, at least for the areas that have people in them. Now, once the solar panel is up, it adds new things that you can build. So, since this colony is all about expansion, the very second thing we're putting up is a landing pad. To heck with oxygen or water. We need to get more colonists here. That's the name of this game. We also need mining to begin right away. Okay, with our solar panel up and our landing pad up, we'll go ahead with the remains of the day. Matter of fact, let's prioritize this. Come on, guys. I need this power collector up so that we can store power throughout the night. Yeah, we're taking a bit of a risk here, but there's a big payoff. So we get our airlock and our first oxygen generator. Somewhat important for the colony. Now, hopefully this power collector will charge up a good amount before nightfall. Because once night falls, our solar cells, will stop working and we won't be generating power. So for now, we have 80 kilowatts coming in. Let's see. We're probably not using very much. We're using 40 kilowatts, or 14, I'm sorry, for the mine and water extraction, well, and the landing pad. Everyone's going to end up short of oxygen soon, so we want to do something about that. That's a bit important. Just a bit. Now, since we went big on all this other construction, our initial internal stuff will be small, with one exception, food. Food has to be big. Well, and here comes our first new batch of colonists, and we don't even have the interior of the colony operational yet. So yeah, we'll go with a small dorm. And a small canteen. This will help get things started initially. Well, canteens are a connector though, whereas dorms are a dead end, so yeah. Trying to think of a good spot for this thing. So another thing that we need to have, and I might as well make this a big one, is a processing plant. There we go. Put it out this way. Because what I'm thinking is that in the future, if I needed to, yeah, we could put up potentially a second airlock in order to make more mining space available, make it easier to get things in and out from the landing pad. Now, and of course that canteen is important. Now, hopefully I haven't misestimated on my materials. I'm not actually measuring what I've got. I'm just, let's see, is everything committed? We still have a bit. We'll just put up one bunk for now. Just enough to get us started. I want to make sure that there are enough bioplastics available to put up the biodome and get all the vegetable pads operational. Food is going to be a very critical thing for this colony. It is with every colony, but this one in particular, because we plan to expand as rapidly as possible, and we have to keep up with the needs of those colonists as they come in. Alright, time for the biodome. There we go. This is a very connected oxygen generator. Looks like the mine is nice and productive. I see all kinds of ore stacking up outside. So as soon as this processing plant goes up, we'll put up a metal processor and begin processing that into buildable metal. Okay, there are a couple of things that we need. Water. A little table to eat. And some very basic entertainment. Eventually we'll need a meal maker too, but for now, let's go ahead and save it. Meanwhile, again, an absolute must-have is the metal processor. Ore is already coming out of the mine, and as long as we process a single piece of metal, we can make a bioplastics processor, and then from that we'll be able to process the starches that come out of the biodome. Oh, and then potentially later we can link these structures in order to cut down on the travel time for people. Good. More colonists. What do we have? Oh, tell me those are biologists. Oh, engineer. Okay, well, at least one biologist. Good. Alright, we don't even have our most basic services up, and we've already had colonists come in, so that's great. And here we are, survival is reached. So 24 hours after landing, your colonists are still alive. So this is how we're going to see about getting this blasted achievement. I've actually tried this several times, and I thought, what am I doing wrong? I'm always like a few colonists short. And then I realized, oh, as soon as you put up the solar cell, the landing pad becomes available. You know what? Let's just go crazy and put the landing pad up immediately. And take advantage of the fact that, oh, whoops, we've got to get this status up here. Well, we need to get all these services running. People get pissed off if they don't have a place to sleep, food to eat, you know, all those little nitpicky things. So now begins, well, we're already in it. It's just an endless cycle of construction. Things will constantly be queued for construction everywhere. Okay, come on, guys. Someone needs to build this metal processor before you finish all this other stuff. Okay, these are all finished, so there it is. Like I said, I did not measure these out. I'm just kind of making guesses, and it looks like the guesses may actually be correct. So once that metal processor goes up, you know, we win. And there it goes. Now I'm going to prioritize work in this structure so that anytime there is ore available and later bioplastic, well, starch that needs to be processed into bioplastic, they should be in here processing this stuff. So as you see, I went with the cheapest I could on these structures, right down to the 2-person table versus a 4, so that I could save as much bioplastic as possible, and then I go big on the biodome. That way, let's see, we have, wow, we have 13 bioplastic which are currently free, and here come more colonists. So we want to start putting up our food generation facilities as quickly as possible. This is a combination that I happen to like because of the little recipe that it generates. If you take 1 tomato and you have a couple of wheat, they will make pasta. And then I just throw in some peas just to have some extra starch to give our colony a kick in the pants here at the beginning. They don't have to be arranged in a particular order. It's just my OCD. Oh, it's a trading ship. What have you got for us? Medical supplies. You know what? No, thank you. For one thing, we don't have anything to trade, so let's go ahead and change those landing permissions. All we want are colonists right now. But thanks for stopping by. Maybe in the future when we have some money. Since everything seemed to work out with all this other stuff, I'm thinking, let's bite the bullet and we'll put in that second airlock now rather than wait. Because that one airlock is going to be the point where everybody piles up all the time. So just to avoid that, we'll have the second airlock there. And the good thing is that we have the perfect amount of metal in order to finish it. Meanwhile, additional metal is being processed, and so we can see about putting up other things. And let's see, how is the bioplastic? Wow, we still have 8 free? That sounds strange. I think it just hasn't been moved into position yet. Okay, more colonists. This is why we're beefing up our food generation early. Oh, and meteorites are like, hello, welcome to our planet. It's like, yeah, thanks, meteorite bro. Please don't hit my colony and kill all my colonists. So, the meteorites, I mean, here we have this vast planetary surface. No, the meteorites want to come to my colony instead. Good grief. I mean, they want some anti-meteorite laser love. Hey, I'll try. We'll see about getting that up as quickly as possible. The meteorites will not be denied. Okay, with the airlock completed, the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and queue up is this connection. As we have starches go back and forth just to cut down on this nonsense, this way it can just go flow straight into the processing plant. Speaking of processing, let's go ahead and put up our first bioplastics processor. Okay, good. And I see the bioplastics that we have are basically all committed. So we'll have these additional ones that'll be pending. So as starch is generated by the biodome here, we can take a look. So we have all these starch generating plants, some of which generate them very quickly. And as soon as starch starts coming out, it'll go into the bioplastics processor. Now, of course, we'll need some metal in order to put this up, but that's coming out of the metal processor as we speak. So before the starch is available, the processor will be ready. Oh, and speaking of having starch available, the first thing we'll need to make with that starch will be a meal maker. After all, we have 15 meals, so the clock is ticking. We need to get a bioplastics processor up and process some starch into a unit of bioplastic so that as vegetables become available, they can be turned into meals. There we go. And so the bioplastics processor is ready. Okay, all we can do is wait. Now, meanwhile, we have a jump on metal processing. So while we're waiting to put up that bioplastics processor, what we can do with our metal construction is put up a wind turbine. Power throughout the night is going to be a constant issue and danger. So, as you can see, the wind is up, and since the bioplastics are the only thing needed for things like the meal maker and these internal components, we'll be able to concentrate on those without taking away from the turbine, which only requires metal. Come on, come on. These pea pads have fast production, so we'll get our starches out of them shortly. For now, some of the colonists get a good night's sleep if they're lucky enough to get the bunks, and the other ones don't. But we're still considered excellent. We have food. For now, the meals are going to start to run short, so The biology team has to get on the ball here. On the plus side, let's see, what do we have? We have 6 biologists. So when we can get all these vegetable pads online, they should all be able to run at full tilt with no problems. It's good to see the ore just coming in, as we're going to be using ore constantly. Speaking of which, let's see, how many workers do we have? We have 6 workers. You know what, there's no reason not to have a second ore processor. Well, metal. That way we can chew through it faster. The biodome is out of water. Whoops, we are already exceeding our water production. That was quicker than I was expecting. In fact, we'll go ahead and we'll make this the first priority. Oh no. I had everything going for me and then I forgot about the water. No! No! It's all the colonists. They're... Alright, you know what? Let's see. If I shut this down... Can I get some water back? Probably not. I was hoping by shutting down this drinking fountain, people won't be drinking from it, but... Okay, now we have a severe problem. It's a good thing we have 2 metal processors. All we need is some metal, and this problem is solved. In fact, you know what? Let's shut down the mine. I need people processing this metal now, and doing nothing else. Come on, guys. Oh, it just takes... It's like molasses processing metal. In fact, just to avoid Planetbase stupidity, we won't give them anything else to put towards metal. It needs to be the water extractor and nothing else. Sometimes, even when you tell them not to, to focus on something specific, they'll still do it. Hint, food. Yeah, no kidding, right? All the production is stopped because of water. We're still in good shape. Oh, wait a minute. Here comes the water again. Yeah, the water grid is right at the breaking point here. But at least we're just about to produce some food. Well, the problem though is that because it arrested our production, we were delayed on producing starch, which is necessary to produce the meal maker, which we need to turn the vegetables into food. So yeah, we got problems. Let's see. There's pretty much nothing I can do. We'll just go ahead and fast forward and see if the colony survives this. We're still considered excellent, even though there's now a food issue. We'll process the bioplastics. It'll go into the meal maker. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Come on, don't stop working on this thing. I closed the mine so that all the workers have to do is work in this processing plant. There's nothing else they should be doing. Okay, good. Is that the last piece of metal? It is. So now if someone could just get out here and put this thing together, and don't send some slow human. Yeah, there we go. Get a bot to do it. Okay, no more problems with water. As it is, that nearly killed us. Oh no! You did... Oh, good grief. Remember I mentioned Planetbase level stupidity? They took the bioplastic that I just processed and they put up another vegetable pad instead of the meal maker. Given the opportunity, the colonists will kill themselves. So now everybody's hungry. This colony was doing so well. Alright, this is an emergency. Let's see if maybe we can recover by just putting meal makers up. Come on, give me another one. These meal makers can only process meals at a specific rate, and we need to get the colonists fed in order to get back on balance. But, like I said, planet-based stupidity, you know, water ran out, which stopped the starch production, which stopped the everything else, and it's like a train jumping the track. So one thing leads to another. Now we only have a few colonists, so that's a good thing, but now our colony status is poor, so now nobody wants to land here. Thank you very much. Well, at least there is one bright spot. Starch is being produced. So let's go ahead and take that starch and at least provide for the comfort of the colony so that we can get the overall welfare up. There we go. So now the welfare is high enough that we're back up to good. So people are getting fed. Then we'll see about putting up these bunks and making everybody happy. Woo! Crisis averted, and self-sufficiency is reached. So we have all the structures in place necessary to sustain the colony. Ah, finally. Whoops, and now it's injury time. Workers are going to start hurting themselves in the mines, and as a result, that's Planetbase's way of telling me, yo, you need a sick bay. So let's see. A sick bay is a dead-end structure, so here again we'll stick it against the wall here. Let's make it a big one, because we're going to use it a lot. Well, actually, you know what? Rather than put that sick bay there, let's see. Actually, what I'd really like to do... Well, yeah, we should connect it here because they both use biologists. Of course, it's going to be a while because all the bioplastics are being consumed for beds and everything else. But we still have plenty of workers to work the mines and to process things, so that's okay. I usually like to have a lab connected to a sick bay, since the lab will produce medical supplies that will go into the sick bay. It's a nice short hop back and forth, stuffing things in there. Okay, and so we're back on track. People are being fed. We have places for them to rest. So as a result, our colony welfare is back up to excellent. Woo! A little crises averted here and there. We're low on power, and here comes the sun. Oh, speaking of which, we've added quite a few structures, so it's time once again to look at that wind turbine. In fact, it's probably very important. Okay, the next 3 bioplastics that run off the bioplastic processor. Ooh, we are starting to get backed up on starches. So we'll add another bioplastics processor. So this is day 4, and we're already at 22 colonists, so that's good. There we go, a worker, and I believe that's a medic? Yes, excellent, excellent. So you'll be working in our lab. Okay, we've got workers moping around because they're injured. I need to get a sick bay up in order to get them treated so that they can get back to work. The good thing is that the injuries are non-life-threatening, but they do keep the worker from being productive. So, as long as that worker has a traumatic injury, as it mentions here, trauma injury, critical stats, this colonist will not perform any tasks. Well, with one exception, the colonists will still eat your food, even though they're not doing anything else productive. They'll still gladly eat your food. Okay, so as you can see, Omega Base is going to be one of those planet bases where it's just crazy all the time, 24 hours a day, you know, crisis after crisis. Something will always be happening. Oh, look at this guy unhappy. Why don't you go watch some TV, man? I got TV for you. Yeah, entertainment's going to be something to think about here shortly. We're stuffing a whole lot of people into a tiny little plastic bubbled colony. Eventually, colonists stop getting polite and start getting real. In the real colony. Whoops, Sandstorm. Stay inside. Oh, come on, he made it out. Oh well. Humans I don't care about. They'll be okay. It's the bots that I'm worried about. Yeah, we don't have any security controls. If I had a control center, I could declare a yellow alert and compel the colonists to come inside. But for right now, they pretty much do whatever they want. In a way, I guess Planetbase sort of reminds me of The Sims. You put up the structures and the Sims do whatever they want. Well, the colonists are pretty much the same way, you know. I can try and say, would you please work over here? And they're like, yeah, I'll take it under advisement, but probably not. So. A situation like this brings the wind strength to the maximum, which would have been great if I had a wind turbine up, because right now, even though the sun is shining, my solar panel is not generating any power because I can't see the sun. And, yeah. I'm a little bitter, because now I'm going to have to last through the rest of the day and the night on the power that we have stored here, and it is fading fast. So let's go ahead and shut down non-essential systems like the mine. And the landing pad. No ships can land during a sandstorm anyways, so. We pretty much need everything else. We've got to have food. We have to have places for the colonists to rest, eat. All these other things are essential at the moment. Oh, good. All right. So at least it abated, and we can charge up a little bit before we go into the night. But I'm going to go ahead and leave the mine power down so that there's more power to flow into the collector. Same thing with the landing pad, although that's a trickier prospect. I need colonists. The whole point of this colony is for an achievement. Fortunately, it only consumes 5 kilowatts of power, but 5 kilowatts is still 5 kilowatts, and so our power collector charges more slowly, and we're about to lose the sun. I don't want to turn any colonists away. We're still in good status, so they should still want to land here. And that's the point of this colony. Okay, good. We have surplus bioplastics? That's impossible. They just haven't been taken to their building sites yet. On the plus side, having the mine powered down makes it impossible for any other colonists to injure themselves, because the injuries typically result in traumatic accidents that came from mining. Planetbase doesn't seem to have a mechanic for colonists to be injured any other way other than being struck by meteorites, but in that case it's not really an injury, it's just plain death. So, you know, imagine, and I've had this happen where everybody's asleep in the dorm and it gets bullseyed by a meteorite and kills everyone inside. Which would be bad for me, since this achievement is about getting as many colonists into this colony as quickly as possible. Okay, we want to make sure that we last through the night on this power. And that's why the mine is still shut down. I'm tempted to shut down this landing pad, but the whole point is to get more colonists, so we're taking a risk here. That sandstorm really did a number on us. Oh, and here we go. And this is why I kept the lights on. As Tom Bodette would say, from whatever motel it was that he worked for. I forget. Now we'll shut it off. It'll be a while before we see another ship. So, it looks like we're going to run out of power. Alright guys, I hate to do this to you, but 3 kilowatts is 3 kilowatts. I know, I don't want to do that either, but I'm trying to keep power going. Oh, and we'll shut down the processing plant. We just need oxygen and food generation. That's still not going to stop him. There goes the power. And it kills me to look at the wind. Of course, when I don't have a wind turbine, the wind will be powerful. And when I do have one, it'll just sit there at 0 all the time, and the power will still go out. Now here's the bad part. When the power goes out, these guys are going to be stuck on the surface with whatever oxygen they have with them. At least his tank is full. And here comes the sun. But until the sun shows up, everything here is being damaged. Oh, and we're running on whatever oxygen happens to be inside the colony. So our oxygen levels are falling. We need to get the power up in order to start generating more oxygen again. Otherwise, we'll have people being asphyxiated. And there comes the sun, and the solar collector is powering up. Okay, power is restored. And we're repressurizing. Ooh. Like I said, it can be a little exciting at times. Alright, let's go ahead and reactivate our services. Yeah, we really need this darn wind turbine. Fortunately, it's only pending 2 more metal, which we should be able to get out of here in a bit. Whoops. Oh, that's right. We stopped mining. As a result, we're done with all of our ore at the moment. That's all right. The workers will get back to work. What I'm thinking, these poor guys, everybody in the whole colony shares one water fountain. Come on, get out of my way. So I'm thinking of putting up additional water fountains. Well, of course, as bioplastics become available, of course. The lab is up. And before we do that, so I know I'm going to connect them. Oh, there, I can sneak one in there. Come on. I could get one in this little space, but I can't get one in this big area. You are crazy, Planetbase. Alright, well, those are tissue synthesizers that allow our colonists to culture meat products from cell samples they brought with them to the planet without having to deal with livestock. Okay, come on, Planetbase. We've got the manpower. Let's get this stuff done. Okay, good. Here comes some more ore. Speaking of manpower, it's probably time to expand the mining system. As soon as we can get this turbine up so that we have the power for it, we can put up another mine and generate twice as much ore. I'm tempted to put up additional bioplastics processors because it looks like starch is outproducing our processing capacity. The problem is that if I put up one, it'll put the metal here instead of finishing the very important wind turbine. So I'll wait. Planetbase logic there. We also still need to finish the biodome. As we gain more colonists, it's going to strain our food production. So if we look here at the numbers, we can kind of see how things have been going. These are vegetables. So, you know, you can put up the chart and see how it's doing. It's like, well, it's doing pretty good, but now we got a lot of people, and, you know, we're just sort of maintaining things and see how we're doing on meals. You know, we landed with a bunch of meals, and now we're just kind of up and down and all around with these things. So Okay, guys, I have some bad news for you, and you're going to be pissed off. But it's for a good reason. And the good reason is... Whoops! Oh, come on. Object density limits that I hate. I wanted to give them a nice 4-person table so that we can get some more mileage out of this thing. Oh, don't take the bioplastic away. Leave it here. Come on. Oh, yeah, let's put up that TV first. Never mind the table. Planetbase logic. Oh, well. At least here comes some more bioplastic. Will we ever get the last 2 pieces of metal for our wind turbine? Stay tuned and find out. Seems like forever, huh? Well, of course, one of them must have already been completed. Where is it? Probably went somewhere. Sick bay. I forgot about that. You know what? Prioritize this. No wonder it's taking forever, because they're doing other things with the metal, rather than finishing the very important, like I said, power generation. One thing that, and if Planetbase's builders ever see this silly video, we have things like setting manufacturing limits when you put up a factory. What I'd like to do is also set priorities for structures. Power generation should always come above everything else. Or at least be able to designate. I mean, right now we could say prioritize this thing, this one thing, but I'd really love to give them a numerical priority. This is priority 1, this one's 2, 3, 4, 5. And that way you can lay out your grand colony and just watch it take shape. But instead it has a lot of needless micromanagement because there's no facility to say do this first and do this second. Do this third, you know, and so on. Okay, good. Now we have a 4-person table so that we can have all the colonists seated and enjoying their meals faster. Now we just need to make sure these meal makers stay stocked and we have more people coming. Ah! I need to get this sick bay up. See, it only requires 1 more bioplastic, so the next bioplastic that comes off the assembly line goes to the sick bay. Oh, and 2 more pieces of metal. After, there we go. Now the turbine is getting what it needs. But we were fully charged going into the night, so we seem to be okay. But I want to expand all of this this biodome here as quickly as possible. I'm amazed that so far we only have what appears to be 1 traumatically injured worker. Although he's probably thinking, what kind of healthcare is in this stupid colony? This guy's been injured for a while. But I wanted to make my lab, you know, next to my sick bay, so I have to wait to process the materials and have to keep the lights on. You know, it's just this vicious cycle. Planet-based things. Oh, and the whole colony's entire entertainment is this one video screen. Notice, people get happy when they watch TV. Maybe we should put up another one. Don't worry, be happy. Whoops, there we go. Because we're done with bioplastics for the sick bay. The only thing remaining is metal. Ah, good, and the wind turbine is up. and the wind is blowing, and we are generating power. And the sun is about to rise. Once the sun is up, we'll be able to get our power collector fully charged. The wind turbine does not generate as much power as our solar collector. Notice that it's only putting out 44 kilowatts, well, 45, out of a possible total of 50. Whereas the solar panel can put out 80, but it only works when the sun is up. So this kind of helps to supplement things and get us going through the night. Plus, it'll run at 100% efficiency. Ah, good, we're up to 50. Wow, the wind is really moving. So power is just flowing into our network. Speaking of which, this excess power needs to be captured. So let's put up another power collector as soon as we can. In fact, let's go crazy and put up 2, because running out of power is death. As we saw with the little crises, no oxygen generation, no anything else. Although we will go ahead and we'll put up the sickbay first. But all the metal that's generated after that can go to power collectors. Meanwhile, since all that takes is metal, and all this requires is metal, since it's already fully funded in terms of bioplastic requirements, all the remaining bioplastic that we have needs to go to expanding our food generation capacity. Because we've plussed up significantly in the number of colonists that we have, but we have not increased our food generation base. In fact, it may already be time for another biodome. Oh, and let's keep an eye on oxygen. Oh, yeah, see what I mean? We have 28 of 30. So we can generate oxygen for 30 people. We've already got 28 of them. And here comes... Okay, I'm going to predict 3 colonists get off of this thing, and now oxygen becomes our latest emergency. Oh, boy. We have room for 2 more. How many are you going to dump on us? Oh, here comes 2 more. We are at capacity for oxygen. All right. Well, this is exciting. I hate these little things here. They just kind of get in the way and cause problems. There is a little bit of Planetbase. You can kind of game the system just a little bit. I'm trying to see if I can finagle this to where it will allow me to see how it shaves it off just a bit. And I'm trying to see if I were to put this here. There we go. You can cut through that. And you don't actually do anything. You know, you're just saying, well, I'm thinking about putting stuff here, and they go and they cut it up. Well, I mean, you should be able to just kind of sand down any landforms that you don't like anyways, but Planetbase doesn't want to let you do that. There we go. So we'll put an oxygen generator here. Okay, we'll let them put up the sick bay, and then we'll have to make the generator our next priority. It's a shame because, you know, the sun is shining, the wind is blowing, and that power collector is at 100% charge. And I would really like to be capturing all the excess power which is being generated and dump them into other collectors. But we don't have the metal as yet. Although we are catching up. Let's see, we have ore to process, and we have ore processors ready. Okay, good. That should be the last bit of metal necessary to put up the sick bay. So we'll prioritize the oxygen generator next. Then after that, then we can see about building those power collectors. In fact, since all we're doing is waiting, let's go ahead and speed up time. Our status continues to be excellent, which means that our colony is attractive for new potential colonists. Oh, and now that the sickbay is finally online, let's see about getting this poor fellow treated. Ah, even more colonists. Great. Ah, and the biodome is fully operational, finally. I don't want to end up with a food crisis. In fact, yeah, it looks like it's time for another biodome. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know. That's why an oxygen generator is pending construction, and why it is a priority. I want to put up those power collectors. Oh, you know what? We need to expand our mining. There's no bones about it. We need metal too badly and too much of it. I wanted to wait, but time's up. So let's put up another mining facility here. After all, we have the workforce. We have the base to support it. Ah, good. And our injured worker is being treated. In fact, that's next on the to-do list. And something we didn't bother with the first biodome is we have not produced any medicinal plants in order to produce medical supplies. So our second biodome will produce medicinal plants. Quite a few of them, as a matter of fact. Since we have plenty of starch coming in, what we'll do is we can substitute those pea pads for medicinal plants. That's always a comforting thing to hear. Meteorites like to remind us they're there for us. Anytime, anywhere, ready to kill. It's like, sure, yeah, if we got population problems, meteorites, they got our back. Yeah, I really want this to be generating medical supplies, but perhaps temporarily we might generate some food here as well. You know, for a long time I used to think that the tissue synthesizers can synthesize chicken, beef, or pork, and I thought that made a big difference in terms of recipes, because I saw that Planetbase has this, formula where you would take different types of food and combine them into complex meals, and so I was thinking surely there must be a recipe that calls for specific types of meat. But when I looked up the recipes, it turns out they don't. It's just meat is meat. So you can make hamburgers. Well, see, here's a burger. And the only type of meat that I made was chicken. So we have burgers coming from chicken. So these will provide a little supplement while we're trying to get the other biodome up and running. And something else we probably need, like yesterday, is a storage dome. Whoops, our carry bot just went kaput. So engineer needs to give him a hand. Okay, and we've had these medical supplies sitting on the surface for a while now, so by putting up medical cabinets, we're creating storage, which will induce the colonists to drag the supplies and bring them into the colony. Well, we're at 40 colonists, and it is day 8. This is much better than I was doing when I first went for my 100 achievement. I waited, I think, too long to build my landing pad. So here it's all about the landing pad. We've got to have it. Whoa, please don't hit my colony. Come on, I need all these people for my achievement. Then you can kill them. Yeah, we need a storage dome very badly. Alright, and I'm getting tired of looking at all this starch, so it is time. It is time for the bioplastics processors. And let's go bonkers, and we'll put up metal processors as well. So this will be a basically fully populated materials processing plant. Ah, good, the biodome is pending 1 metal. Oh, of course, watch, they're going to put the metal towards those processors and not finish the biodome. Oh. Yeah, they put the metal here first. On the plus side, now we have 4 processors, and yeah, we have more ore coming in than ever with the 2 mines. Uh-oh, it's time for guards. So apparently we have already started to get close to a prestige level. Prestige level 100 is probably where we're going to have to worry about it, but yeah, we need some guards. So we're going to become attractive to nefarious elements of the galaxy. Speaking of which, let's see, can we... Oh no. I need to figure out a way to reroute the power so that at some point this landing pad can be recycled. Oh good, the biodome went up after all. Oh, yeah, after all the processors were built. Because, well, we have plenty. Oh, and speaking of which, before the gotcha comes to get me, because I know it's just waiting for that opportunity to do exactly that, we need more water. Not only that, but we need a water tank. So many things I need to build with metal. Yeah, let's go ahead and prioritize the water first. Because all these plants are going to want water. In fact, let's see what our current water draw is. Yeah, see, we're right on the line. So if I start putting things down here, then we have problems. So we'll increase our water production before doing anything else. In the meantime, though, let's see. It's time. It's time for a storage dome. And we'll put the storage dome out here so that it is being fed by both the biodome. Whoops, at least that was the idea. I'd like it to be fed by both the biodome and the processing plant. There we go. And because I like to forecast these things out into the future, yeah, I know we're going to need an oxygen generator, so might as well just put it out there. All that extra bioplastics processing capacity comes in handy here, as well as the additional ore. It's good to see all the ore processors fully operational. So, we should be able to get everything put up here in short order. Speaking of which, one more bit of metal and that water extractor will be online. As soon as that goes up, we can see about increasing our food generation capacity, because although we've got our meals here, I want to make sure that we don't have any hiccups or problems. The lab here is doing a good job of supplementing by providing meat, and so the meal makers are all stuffed. Everybody's getting fed. Very, very important. Good, and it looks like all our medical supplies are off the surface. Although, wow, we've consumed quite a few of them. So a priority for the new biodome will be to produce medicinal plants that will be used by the lab in order to create fresh medical supplies, so that we can keep our mines fully operational. Because it'll be very, very important to continue to mine ore so that we have more metal. Good, the water extractor has been built. Power it up. And, like I said, the very first thing we want are medicinal plants. So where the pea pads would have gone, medicinal plants will take their place. We're good on starch at the moment, so I'm just concentrating on the tomatoes initially, and once this storage dome is online, this will be something that everybody will want right away. In fact, we'll go ahead and prioritize that. As you can see, there's various different materials that are stocked up all over the colony. They need to go into storage. Okay, good. Another worker got treated. We still have medical supplies from our initial landing on the planet, but they won't last forever. These spares are out here taking a beating here on the surface of the planet, so I'd like to drag them inside, but we need to have a storage dome for that. Okay, good. The first medicinal pad is up. Once that storage dome goes up, it'll be one heck of a parade of things being dumped in there. And the good thing is that by storing all the raw materials right next to the processing plant, it allows for a short hop for them to go into the plant, get processed, and come back out. So because of the storage dome's utility in that regard, in order to turn minerals and supplies around quickly into usable building materials, it would make sense to attach a factory to it as well. So this will be a storage dome with a high degree of turnover. Many warehouses will measure things in what are called turns, where they look and see how often they turn over their entire supply to gauge whether or not, do we have enough online? Is it costing us too much to bring things in? Should we have a bigger supply to ensure that we don't run out? So that we can always supply our organization with whatever materials or supplies it is that they need. Keep things from expiring, so that there is no spoilage or damage, and just basically be the resource for their organizations. Good, the biodome is coming along nicely. Alright, so what are we pending? We're just pending 2 metal. That should be easy for our upgraded processing plant. In fact, with the processing plant running at full tilt, it might be time to put up another one here in the very near future. Eventually these darn power collectors will get put up. And we probably need additional power generation. I mean, we're putting more and more demand on the system, but we have not increased our power generation to go with it. Whoa! Come on, meteorites. Do we gotta do this? And meteorites, well, meteorite. Meteorites got a meteorite. Or in this case, attempt to kill colonists. Okay, so it's day 10. The initial Planetbase achievement, it was, you know, get 100 colonists in less than 30 days. I think we're going to do a lot better than that. So we're on track to see about getting to 150 colonists in less than 60 days. Now if we can just keep it going. Alright, the storage dome is going up. Now I'm just curious to see how this lasts. This is going to be, like I said, it's going to be a parade. All these extra materials and supplies are all going to find their way to the storage dome, including all the stuff which is currently sitting on the surface of the planet. You know what? I forget about Planetbase stupidity, so let me... Otherwise, they'll put that one up first, and then this will just sit there. So let's force them to put this connection up before we allow them to put up another. Okay. So the storage dome is pressurizing, and once it reaches an acceptable level of oxygen, we'll notice a change, where all the colonists will suddenly start grabbing things and taking them to the storage dome. Oh, I love a parade. Da-dun, 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 da-dun. The storage dome is going to fill up quickly. We don't have enough materials or supplies in order to fill it up completely right now, but everything that we do have will be dumped in here. It won't take long. And then they'll go and collect all this stuff from the surface. Maybe they'll beat me to the punch on those power collectors. I was thinking that I would put up additional power generation before finally doing the power collector, but maybe not. Here, let's see, is this one you're grabbing? Perfect. Here's something bizarre about Planetbase. Now, these spare parts have been sitting on the surface for a while, taking a beating from the erosion from the planet's conditions. And you'll notice that they're listed, their condition is decent. You know, eventually they can rot away if they're left on the surface. But watch this. This is a little bit of Planetbase magic. So our colonist is going to wait at the airlock here, and as soon as he can get through it, it's a good thing we have 2 airlocks. And we're just following this thing in. Alright, so no change, no change, no change. So he's carrying that thing through. Dum-da-dum-da-dum, dum-dum-dum, and it's still decent. Dum-dum-dum-dum. Yeah, don't trouble yourself. It's not like we're not in a race here against time. Thanks so very much. And he dumps it. And then, Planetbase magic. Those decent spares start to regenerate just by osmosis. Nothing strange in particular. Just spare parts get better simply because they are indoors rather than on the surface of the planet. And they'll continue to regenerate until they get it back up to 100%. So, if you have any, if you've got a bunch of stuff sitting on the surface for a long time, and you're worried about the conditions of it, just bring it inside. Okay, I'm a little worried about attacks from hostile attackers. We don't currently have any defenses. I need to get some guards. So eventually someone's going to come and get us. And as like I said, the spares continue to regenerate. Good, everything else is up. We've got our oxygen generator. We're producing medical supplies. Well, we're producing medicinal plants, I should say. Ooh, see, here comes the power storage to get us. That's why I want to increase power storage. So that on good days, when there's plenty of power, we suck away more of it for those lonely planet-based nights. It's good to see some extra food there. Unfortunately, it's very far away from the canteen. So, let's see. It's probably time for another bigger, better canteen. But we'll have to get the power up first. Oh, and medicinal plants are finally being produced, so let's put up our first workstation to... I can't get away with one there. Nah, of course not. And a second one here. I hate to do it, but the whole reason for this thing to be next to the sick bay is so that medical supplies flow into it. So the meat generation, that's just like a secondary thing. After all, we have our second biodome coming up. Boy, we are really good on starch. But that's okay. Whoops, and there goes the power. During the daytime? Oh, the sun just came up. Yeah, we didn't have enough power stored during the night. Oh, and it's a sandstorm. Let's go ahead and... Well, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's keep that bot from going outside. The bot wants to go out and trash itself. Come inside, colonists. Come inside. Oh, the bot's going for the door. Oh, here, I'll open the door for you guys. No, no bot. The carry bot will go outside and destroy itself in the sand. You know what? We're not generating enough power. Even though this thing is going at 100%, we use more than 50 kilowatts of power. You know what? Let's go ahead and start shutting down non-essential services. Nobody's injured at the sick bay, so we don't need that. The lab is a nice touch, but it's not critical. Storage is nice, but again, not critical. Oh, whoops. I accidentally turned that off. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Go ahead and come inside. It's just I'm trying to keep the bots from running outside in the sandstorm and destroying themselves, because that's really what they want to do. How bad is this power? We are consuming 58 kilowatts. We should at least have some things powered. Come on. Oh, these sandstorms are killing me. Alright, well, that pretty much made the decision as to what it is that we are going to power up next. Oh, What am I doing? Power this silly thing off. No, bot. Oh, this thing just wants to kill itself. Oh, and I gotta catch it. Okay, looks like the sandstorm is ending. There, finally. Ah, good grief. Well, that's exciting. Yep, we need more power generation. And we will make it a wind turbine. Let's see, what are our colony conditions? We're still considered good. What we probably need to do is recruit some guards. Okay, we'll have them finish this power collector first because there's only one metal unit pending for its completion, so there's no reason not to finish it. That way, as we fully power up the collector, hopefully we can get another one charged and weather those bad days. Ah, good. These should be guards. Excellent. And we're going to need a few more. So we have our first two guards. And in fact, that brings up another good point, is it is time for a factory. So we've gotten by all this time on the spare parts that we have, and without any guards. That needs to change. So this will allow us to produce our own spare parts. In fact, how are we doing on spare parts? We still have 7. I'm surprised. Okay, we'll prioritize this turbine next. And we'll follow that up with some nice solar cells. On the plus side, it looks like we have plenty of bioplastics for the factory, so we're doing okay on bioplastic production. Actually, it looks like we have an overabundance of starches. The processing plant does not seem to be keeping up with them. Oh, power storage again. And the night has just begun. Alright, shutting down non-essential services. Be nice if the wind would pick up. good. Well, the wind is actually cooperating. We are generating 50 kilowatts. However, our draw is 60, so we are steadily going down. But it will take a while, as long as the wind holds. But it won't. The wind will go out on us. We're just pending 2. Damn it, I hate to do this, but let's get the processing plant going. If you can give me 2 more metal, I can double the amount of wind that's being generated. Well, wind power, I should say. Let's see, there's no metal sitting in here, is there? No, good. How close are we? Very close. Okay, there's 1 metal. Come on, can we get that last bit of metal before the power goes out? I'm going to say no. But maybe we have just enough power to keep the processing plant running while other things suffer. Come on, give me that last little bit. 94, 95, 96. Oh, fingers crossed. 100. Done. Get it out there and get it running. Whoops, uh-oh. Some other really important things don't have power at the moment. Come on, guys. Can you get that metal out there and put that thing together, please? Oh, of course the carry bot is going to take it out there instead of the construction bot who could have put it up. Alright, let's go ahead and shut down the landing pad. We're probably not going to see other visitors for at least a little while. Come on. Oh, don't tell me now the airlock doesn't have power. Come on. I've got power coming in through here. There should be enough to at least power up the airlock. But no, somehow there isn't. I guess these various different services, the extractors, the water tower, consume more power than this little turbine can put out. Oh, and yeah, now we have 5 guards. Let's go back to our regular loadout, with one exception. We'll have 5% for guards. Okay, solar panel is next. Also very important, so we'll go ahead and prioritize that. Factory, not so much. Oh, and we need the mines back up so that we have the metal in order to complete those constructions. In fact, let's go ahead and prioritize work in the mines. So whenever there are workers available, they should be mining, and then whenever there's ore available, it should be processed. Oh, and let's bring the lab back up. Whoops, no. Power up the lab. The sick bay can stay shut off. I don't see anybody injured, so... So as that wind sock picks up in speed, that just means more power for the colony. Of course, well, now it's going down, so thanks a lot, Planetbase. So this is probably a good point to end this video here. Woo! So, as you can see, Omega Base is getting off with a bang. 53 colonists, and it's only day 12. And our status is still considered excellent, so this is the colony to come to. Now, we need to see about getting that factory operational in our next episode and start handing out weapons to our guard force so that when eventually, because it's a matter of when, not if, hostile intruders come to our colony, we want to make sure they get a warm welcome. See you next time here on Joe Super Fantabulous PC Gaming Channel, where we'll have more fun in Planetbase.